Welcome to my channel about treating type 2 diabetes. Today we continue our tour inside the supermarket. Imagine yourself walking through these bright aisles full of colorful packages and promises of health. But we are not here as ordinary shoppers. We are here as investigators of what truly hides inside these foods. Many of the products that look safe or even healthy can raise blood sugar faster than a glass of soda. Together we will discover which foods are safe and which are hidden traps for people with diabetes. Here we see one of the most common vegetables worldwide, potatoes. They are cheap, filling, and appear on almost every table. But for people with diabetes, they are one of the most dangerous choices. Potatoes contain mainly starch, and in 100 grams of boiled potatoes, there are 16 to 18 grams of carbohydrates. Almost all of them are fast-digesting starch. That means that one plate of mashed potatoes works in your body almost the same way as eating white bread. Blood sugar rises rapidly, insulin spikes, and the pancreas receives a heavy burden. Now look at another common vegetable, onions. Unlike potatoes, onions are not so dangerous for blood sugar, but they do contain carbohydrates. In 100 grams of onions, we find around 9 grams of carbohydrates, but part of this is fiber, which slows down absorption. That is why onions do not cause the same sharp rise in blood glucose. Onions are also rich in antioxidants and sulfur compounds that fight inflammation and may help improve vascular health. Next, we have garlic, small, aromatic, and powerful. Garlic has only about 5 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams, and nobody eats that much at once. Usually, we use just 1 or 2 cloves. That means carbohydrates from garlic are minimal, but the benefit is not only in low carbohydrates. Garlic contains sulfur compounds such as allicin that reduce inflammation, improve vascular tone, and even increase insulin sensitivity. That makes garlic one of the healthiest additions for people with diabetes. Pumpkin is different. In 100 grams, it contains 7 to 8 grams of carbohydrates. That number may look small, but pumpkin has a high glycemic index. This means even a small portion can quickly raise blood sugar. Especially dangerous are mashed or pureed pumpkin dishes. Here is melon, a fruit that many people love in the summer. It looks light, watery, and harmless. But for diabetes, it is a trap. In 100 grams of melon, we find 7 to 9 grams of carbohydrates, mostly glucose and fructose. One ordinary slice weighs 200 to 250 grams, which means 15 to 20 grams of sugar in one serving. That equals 4 to 5 teaspoons of sugar at once. Now let us compare a vegetable that looks safe. Zucchini. Zucchini is very light. In 100 grams, there are only 3 to 4 grams of carbohydrates, most of them fiber. That means zucchini does not raise blood sugar and can be eaten freely, in soups, stews, or grilled. Now we see cabbage. Unlike melon or potatoes, cabbage is one of the best products for people with diabetes. In 100 grams, it contains only 5 grams of carbohydrates, and more than half of that is fiber. Fiber slows digestion, lowers blood sugar, and supports gut health. Cabbage is also rich in vitamin C and phytochemicals that reduce inflammation. It can be eaten raw in salads, cooked in soups, or fermented into sauerkraut, which further benefits gut bacteria. Tomatoes are bright, juicy, and often used in salads. In 100 grams, there are only 3 to 4 grams of carbohydrates, a very small amount. They also contain lycopene, a strong antioxidant that protects blood vessels and the heart. The only risk is adding sugar in sauces or ketchup. That turns a safe tomato into a danger, but fresh tomatoes themselves are light and safe. Cucumbers are one of the safest foods in the supermarket. In 100 grams, there are only 1.5 to 2 grams of carbohydrates, almost all fiber and water. They hydrate, refresh, and fill the stomach without raising blood sugar. Cucumbers can be eaten raw, in salads, or as a light snack at any time of the day. Verdict: cucumbers are completely safe and one of the best choices for people with diabetes. Eggplants, also known as aubergines, are another safe vegetable. In 100 grams, there are only 4 to 5 grams of carbohydrates, and again, a good portion of that is fiber. They are rich in anthocyanins, antioxidants that support vascular health. Eggplants can be baked, grilled, or stewed. The only danger comes from frying them in large amounts of oil. They absorb fat like a sponge, making the dish unhealthy. Verdict: eggplants are safe when cooked without excess oil, a versatile and diabetic-friendly vegetable. Watermelon is the symbol of summer, but for diabetes it is a red warning sign. In 100 grams of watermelon, 30 kilocalories, 7.5 grams of carbohydrates, of which 6 to 7 grams are sugars, and only 0.4 grams fiber. One slice weighs 200 grams, which equals about 17 grams sugar, 4 teaspoons. Verdict: watermelon is not safe for diabetics. Despite its refreshing taste, it causes quick spikes in blood sugar and must be avoided. Fruit juices are one of the biggest traps in the supermarket. They look natural, healthy, and full of vitamins. But the reality is different. In 100 milliliters of juice, there are 10 to 12 grams of sugar. A glass of 250 milliliters contains 25 grams of sugar, equal to 6 teaspoons. And unlike whole fruit, juice has no fiber. Sugars are absorbed instantly. Verdict: fruit juices, even labeled 100% natural, are as dangerous as soda for people with diabetes. They must be avoided completely. Energy drinks promise power and focus, but they hide extreme danger for diabetics. One can of 250 milliliters contains 27 to 30 grams of sugar and 70 to 100 milligrams caffeine. A large can of 500 milliliters doubles that, up to 60 grams sugar, equal to 15 teaspoons. Verdict: energy drinks are sugar bombs with added caffeine stress. They are forbidden for people with diabetes. These bright bottles of Pepsi and lemonades look refreshing, but inside is pure liquid sugar. A 500 milliliter bottle contains 54 grams sugar, 13 teaspoons. 1 liter has more than 100 grams sugar, equal to 25 teaspoons. Verdict: Pepsi and lemonades are liquid sweets. For diabetics, they are more dangerous than pastries and must be completely avoided. Breakfast cereals for children look colorful and fun, but in reality, they are sugar bombs. In 100 grams of cereals, there are 60 to 70 grams of carbohydrates, of which up to 35 grams are sugars. One bowl with milk equals about 25 grams sugar, or 6 teaspoons. Coca-Cola is no better. In 500 milliliters, there are 53 grams sugar, and in 1 liter, 106 grams. That means one bottle is like swallowing pure sugar. Verdict: both breakfast cereals and Coca-Cola are forbidden for diabetics. They are traps that increase cravings, weight, and insulin resistance. Herring is a traditional fish often eaten with bread or potatoes. On its own, herring is rich in protein and omega-3 fatty acids, but many packaged herrings are marinated with sugar or syrup. Verdict: only herring in oil or brine without added sugar is safe. Always check the label. Sweet marinades make it forbidden. 100 grams of canned pink salmon provides about 20 grams protein and 7 to 8 grams fat. Almost no carbohydrates, no sugars. Verdict: canned pink salmon is safe and healthy. It supports vessels, reduces inflammation, and fits perfectly in a diabetic diet. Trout is a wonderful fish rich in omega-3, but smoked or heavily salted trout can raise blood pressure and stress the kidneys. Verdict: trout is safe when fresh or baked without excess salt. Smoked trout should be limited or avoided if you have hypertension or kidney disease. Red caviar looks luxurious. In 100 grams, it contains 24 grams protein, 15 grams fat, and no sugar. But it is very salty. Verdict: 1 to 2 teaspoons of red caviar are safe, but eating a whole jar is not. Salt overload makes it risky for people with high blood pressure. Canned fish in oil, like sardines or mackerel, is usually safe. 20 grams protein, healthy fats, 0 carbohydrates. But fish in tomato sauce is often different. Manufacturers add sugar to the sauce. That creates 4 to 8 grams carbohydrates per 100 grams. Verdict: safe, fish in oil without sugar. Dangerous, fish in tomato sauce with sugar. Smoked fish is popular, but it is deceptive. It has no carbohydrates, but 25 to 30 grams fat and many carcinogens from smoke. Salt is also very high. Verdict: smoked fish is not safe for diabetics. It raises cholesterol, blood pressure, and liver stress. Carp is a freshwater fish often sold alive. In 100 grams, there are 17 grams protein, 5 grams fat, no carbohydrates. That makes carp safe, but only if cooked properly. Verdict: boiled or baked carp is a good option. Fried carp with flour or oil becomes dangerous because starch and fat cause blood sugar spikes. Finally, we see salmon, one of the best choices for people with diabetes. 100 grams provide 20 grams protein and 12 grams fat, mainly omega-3. Omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and protect the heart. But smoked salmon is loaded with salt, which makes it less safe. Verdict: fresh or baked salmon is highly recommended. Smoked salmon should be avoided. As we saw today, supermarkets are full of both allies and hidden enemies for diabetics. Safe products include cabbage, cucumbers, tomatoes, zucchini, and fish without sugar or smoke. Dangerous products include potatoes, melon, watermelon, fruit juices, soda, cereals, and smoked fish. The lesson is simple. Always check the composition, avoid sugar traps, and choose foods that keep blood sugar stable. Now, my question to you: which department should we visit next? Dairy, bakery, or meat? Write in the comments and see you in the next episode of our supermarket tour.